Hello, Tony here for the final scene, or well, what I've got anyway. Yeah, well, I have not done a very good job of this. I apologize, but let's take a look at what I've got. Right, so I've got the terrain in with the normals and whatnot, and of course skybox without any seams or anything, and it's got fog. But as you can see, my scene is pretty terrible. Anyway, got some more example stuff over here. Oh yeah, I've got um, 3 spotlights. 2 are anchored to this floating pyramid with the single color on it, not affected by light. And then there's this um, peeing box here, the the texture that wraps around and is not a single texture. It's one texture that multiple sides. Yeah. Anyway, got 3 lights. Got the some imported models. This model has meshes. So there's that. Nothing terribly creative, but I think I hit a decent amount of the things that were supposed to be in the demo. Is there anything else that I should mention? I think I mentioned the fog. The fog wasn't really super obvious, so I'm gonna crank it up a bit. Where is it? Here, on here. Fog. Right. So let's just crank it up to like 25.5. Doesn't look as nice, or well, it's harder to see things, but I guess it actually probably looks nicer because of the cooler fog effect. I actually like it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, stuff fades in and out. The other models fade in and out as well. Yeah, fog works as it should and all that. Let's look at code stuff and things. Right, so just at the DX app here, we've got the init demo, got all the different things you're setting, or the resources you're loading. Shaders are here. I think one of these don't use, probably that one. That's just left over. But whatever, it doesn't matter. We've got the directional light here, which is just set in the init demo because it's not affected by anything. It's just there. House resources, car resources, the car, the setting up of the car graphics object, which is my graphics object that's a multi-spot text, which means that it's affected by the multiple spotlights. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of different graphics objects over here. These 4 right here are just stock ones that you gave in the demos, and then this is of course that one, and upgraded to light. We got a texture light, and then the multi-spot texture light for my specific shader that I made for the final scene. Right. Anyway, back to this. Do terrains here, which you pass in a length here, and then of course the height map, and then a texture passed in somewhere here. Where is it? Why is it not passed in here? That's weird. I don't know how it's getting the texture then. I'm going nuts. Can't be down here, could it? Um, oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it passes into the shader. Why does it do that? Oh yeah, because it doesn't have a graphics object. I'm dumb. Yeah, because there's no graphics object for the train. yeah, anyway, this is the terrain stuff in the draw stage. These are spotlights. We'll get to those in a second. Skybox here, which takes in a specific length here, 1000, and then builds a model based on that. Of course, takes in texture and shader for it. And the shader is just a shader class for the stock texture HLS file you gave us, which is here, which I believe was in like one of the homeworks, like homework 7 or 8 or something. It was like the first question. Yeah, I believe something like that, or maybe it was a graphics object. Something like that. Right, here's for the pre-made models in the scene. Let's just go moves around, make stuff slightly more interesting than not interesting at all. We've got our 3 spotlights here. These two follow the pyramid, the unit pyramid, just one on either side of the one that's pointing in the direction of the forward Z axis, and then one that's pointing the opposite. Right. Pretty similar settings on these two as well. And then, of course, we've got the house spotlight here, which I set. This is like this is the position, monkeying around with it or translating it to get a vector and whatnot, which put here for position and then direction to make it point down. Yeah. Anyway, nothing. Probably should move on to something more interesting. Yeah, that's terrain. Fox, of course, fog again, but that's just the same as my homework when I did it, or the homework. Nothing has changed because it actually works pretty well. One of the few things I'm happy with. We got our house render, car render here because they're graphics objects. They just have the render. They don't have any of the fancy, but like they don't have to set their world matrix. They're not moving. Like the box is. This is. Oh yeah, this is the box is also a graphics object. Which I don't know if I pointed that out earlier. Yeah, graphics object right there. It's kind of hidden for some reason. I don't know why that. There's the delete or the destructor. We'll get there in a second. Yeah, skybox. Setting up all that stuff, context and putting in. Probably should look at skybox. Let's start skybox. Right. So similar to the skybox from the homework, but slightly different because it takes in shader texture and what's not. And yeah, then renders nothing too crazy here. Just works with the texture shader, so it doesn't get like caught up in the fog effects or anything like that. Then if we look at terrain here, which is also one of the few things I'm pretty happy with. Right. So got all the stuff here, just setting stuff up, and right, here's the actual logic. This for loop, double for loop here, first goes through each row, like you're going along, like the row would be the starting at the top, across and across and across and across, and then this is the construction of each row. Actually, technically, this would be going down and just picking each row and then each row constructed, and then it lines up the UVs based on that. And then this for loop down here, yeah, this is a triangle loop. So it basically just based on how it went through the this up there does the thing. Anyway, not interesting. Let's go on down here. We've got a render function, so it renders itself and all that. Jazz. Actually, come to think of it, the terrain model hasn't changed very much, so probably just get that if you haven't already. Oh yeah, the model has its mesh. Got this is actually a pain in the ass to put in, I must say. Uh, the mesh numbers, which broke everything multiple times. Throw out models. It was a fun time. It was fun. Yeah. Of course, unit things don't have the sphere because I'm lame. Why am I looking at this one? I should just look at this one. Right, yeah, we've got all the nums in here, mesh nums. Yeah, that's probably good enough. If you want to make sure all the things are changed, you can. I do have an example of it more or less working. Actually, it is working completely because, yeah, the house has the different mesh colors. Yeah, or lighting, really, material color. Yeah. Anyway, probably should take a look at all the graphics objects real quick. So we got the texture light here first up. Nothing too interesting. That stuff, the context keeps the model and the shader, pointer to the shader and the pointer. We've got, okay, this is really the good part. This is my graphics object from the HLS shader I wrote for the scene. Right, it's data on here, which is for each mesh, I believe. Yeah, meshes. Right, we're not on the shader yet, so it's meshes. So yeah, it's and I've got two sets of both of these so that you can specify a mesh number or not. And if you don't specify the mesh number, it will just apply that to all the meshes, which I find pretty nice feature. But anyway, got all the meshy things here, making sure that it goes for each mesh. Yeah. And then quickly we'll look at color light. Yeah, color light pretty well, it's sort of similar, but no textures. And other than that, it's pretty much the same. Doesn't have the texture bit. Yeah, anyway, that's the graphics objects. Right, let's look at the shaders, specifically the ones that I changed and or wrote. So the texture one, I believe I changed a while ago for the to change up both fog and what was the other thing? Oh yeah, just to add the light. Yeah, because this was originally didn't have light. Now it has all the light stuff, which ends up with fog and light. You've already seen that. This is the important one. Sort of similar, but instead it takes in 4 spotlights. So you can have a maximum of 4 spotlights and a directional light. I guess I didn't mention the directional light, but we saw it in the code, so all's well that ends well, I guess. Of course, I don't know if it ends. This video is gonna end that well, but whatever. I will do my best regardless. Anyway, multi-spotlight here. Got the 4 spotlights here. The computing it, and of course throws in the sample from the texture, and also so it's got the works. And probably nothing compared to more advanced shaders, but actually kind of proud of that. Right, so got all the shader classes here. I should probably run through. Oh, actually, first, before we do that, let's just look quickly at the different pre-made. So the ones that I do have is pretty much all of them up to sphere. Although the pyramid doesn't have anything too fancy on like normals. I don't think it has normals. It has normals. Sorry. But the box 6 face texture has normals. Repeating texture has normals. And then this is just the standard great unit box with colors and stuff. Yeah. So let's take a look at the shaders real quick. Well, actually, we'll just look at the important ones, and then we can get on with our lives. Yay. Right. Anyway, shader, spot, texture. So yeah, this is the shader class for my HLS shader. It's probably the important one to look at. So yeah, it sets the directional light spot parameters, or has a way to set those, and there's a little number on the end somewhere. Maybe it's at the start, yeah. So spotlight number. That's how you distinguish which one you're doing. And I just have an array that stores them somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So I got a spotlight array, which is then it holds all the stuff for each spotlight in this array, which is then eventually passed off to each of these spotlight slots in the light data params, layout, and all the buffers you could ever want. Of course, release the stuff. So this is my fog thing here that makes sure that it sets it to a default value so that it doesn't render if you don't have anything, if you don't set it. And then if you end up setting it with the function down here, then it will change the check default value to 1 instead of 0, so it actually renders. I like that a lot better than having an if, so that's why that's there. Then we got the standard functions. Right, so here in the set spotlight parameters, it does set based on array, which is pretty decently efficient, I think. Yeah, anyway, that's just the shader class for my HLS shader. Of course, it's got other typical things. Right. Just gloss over some of the other shader classes. Yeah, that's what they're called. So yeah, this is the shader class that's used by the Skybox because we don't want the Skybox getting light unless you want that, but that was specifically stated that we don't want that. So yeah, I put this in just for that. Yeah, so just pretty standard, doesn't have any light. Shader texture light. So this is basically the same class, but with light. So also a lot more stuff. Yeah, I believe you've already seen this one, so there's really no reason to show that too much. Yeah. Okay, well that's it for that bit there, or the scene. Is there anything else I wish to show off? I don't have the mirror. Sad face. I could not get mirror working. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't know if I did enough to pass, but it is what it is, I guess. Thanks for listening, I suppose.